everyone, you are welcome to a brand new episode of Sister right here, where it's all about relationships. If you have a problem with your relationships, just send us a letter and then we will get to read it on the show. I say we because I don't do this alone. I actually get to unpack all the letters that you send to us with my sisters. And how do you send your letters? You have to send them via sisterislive@gmail.com, and we will get to read that letter right here on the show. And of course, we get to unpack and help you find solutions. Ladies and gentlemen, this is brought to you by Cindy Rice and Kivo Pepe. And of course, this is Channel One TV, and you are listening to City 97.3 FM. My name is Chris Carter. Let's take a quick break, and we will be right back. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It's still Sister right here on Channel One TV. And if you are listening, this is City 97.3 FM. Right now, it's time for me to introduce my sisters. And ladies and gentlemen, we have Olivia.
Hi.
Rosie.
Hello.
And Gail.
Hi.
I know you were going to go for the baritone. How are you doing, ladies?
Good.
We're fantastic.
Right? I can feel the Amatan in the air. Who else can feel it?
Yeah, we can.
So that means we're gearing up to Christmas.
Exactly.
Excited.
And the set is given.
Yeah, right?
Give it.
Yeah. So ladies and
everything
gentlemen,
else that's on
true.
it.
Today we actually have a very special episode, and if you can look around, you realize this is not our normal set. We are actually testing out a grazing table. You know why we're testing a grazing table? Because this is what you will be experiencing at the Situation All White Party and more. So this and more. All right, so this is just like
Tip of the iceberg.
you know, tip of the iceberg, just for the sisters. But on that day at the Situation All White Party, there's actually going to be more.
Wow.
Okay?
Wow.
But you will soon check it out. If you don't understand what we're talking about, you
Can't
will
wait.
go around. So we actually,
If you don't get it.
if you don't get it, you will get it today. So we have our letters ready.
Okay.
And before we get into our letters, sisters, would you want to go around the grazing table, or we should just start and you can be serving yourself while I'm reading the letter?
I think we should read first because we may not, we'll be distracted.
I think you know
Whilst-
how to fast. Please.
Yes.
We'll be going whilst you are reading.
and
All
then
right.
read.
Okay.
Wow, 2 against 1. That's fine.
All right, so sisters, just enjoy yourself, like serve yourself, make yourself happy. We have some grapes, we have some, different fruits. We have grapes, watermelons, we have pawpaw, we have kiwi, mango, and so much more. We even have some cheese, some nuts, some dates, and some fried small chops. Even if you want to be healthy, we have salad for you too. So, yes.
Exciting.
Kelewele too. Did I mention kelewele?
No, you did
Yeah,
not.
you did.
Okay, so enjoy yourself, ladies.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right, so I'm just going to go straight into the letters
Okay.
while the sisters serve themselves.
Um,
Hello, sisters.
go.
I'm a 31-year-old woman in a dilemma, and I need your help in making a decision. I've been in a relationship with a gentleman for over 3 years now. From the beginning, he's mentioned that he wants me to get pregnant before we get married. I didn't take it seriously at first, but it's been over 3 years and he's still insisting on it. Apart from this condition, he is a caring and responsible man who supports me in whatever I need. However, I was diagnosed with a medical condition earlier this year and was advised to settle down and have children as soon as possible before my condition worsens. Sincerely, my mom is a single mom, and I saw all the challenges she faced raising us. I've always dreaded having a child out of wedlock, but now I'm confused. What should I do, please? Sisters, what should she do?
Let me go and save myself.
Running away.
All right. Okay. So this is a bit of a tough one, but not so tough one. Because obviously, I can see a bit of sort of a generational pattern happening, whereby your mother got
It's a single mom.
was a single mom, and then the same thing almost wants to happen with you. But you know, in life, we need to have our standards. If it's something that you believe in so strongly that you do not want to have children before you get married, please stand by it. You need to find somebody who appreciates your values for you. And honestly, if you have a child before you get married, your mom will be heartbroken. Not just that, it will be you doing something, going above and beyond something that you believe in.
Right.
I need you to make a decision, stick to it, and own the decision. And honestly, I'm not too, I'm a little bit disappointed in how the guy is also going about it, because the normal thing that's meant to happen is that you meet somebody, you like the person, you go to their parents' house, you tell them, oh, you know, your family goes there, has the whole conversation of, oh, we found the flower in your house that we are interested in, and they come and do all the necessary things. They bring honor to your family, they bring honor to you, but he's been in a relationship with you for over 3 years, expecting that you get pregnant for him. At the end of the day, this is what I believe. The Bible says children are a gift from God.
Right.
Medically, yes. Technically, you've not been told by the doctors that you're not in a position to have children. What
Right.
you've been told is that, oh, because of the situation in which you're in, you need to hurry up and actually have children. So it's not like you're in a position whereby you cannot have children. So if it makes him feel any better, go with him to the hospital. Let him know that everything is all right with him. You get tested, get checked, and he also needs to get tested and get checked. Maybe he also has issues that he probably doesn't want to talk about. But unfortunately, society makes it in such a way that women always end up being the ones on the receiving end. You could be fertile, but maybe because he has issues, when there's no child in any relationship, any marriage, it's like, oh, the woman is barren. Forgetting that we are incubators. The problem could be from either party. So if his concern is about you getting pregnant and you making a family for him, go with him to the hospital. Get checked off by the doctor, whereby, okay, the doctor will assure him that
Everything is fine.
Everything is fine. And by all means, he needs to do right by you, right by God, right by your family. I mean, what family would want their child to get pregnant before, you know, they get married? That's just a no-no. So I feel like have that conversation. If you're of the strong conviction that you do not want to have a child before marriage, let him know. And assure him through the doctors and sciences that this is what it is. And by all means, pray about it while you go through that journey. And then something that I realize also could help, usually while you are preparing to also have children, you can also get yourself checked as well. If there's some vitamins that you need to be taking, eating right, doing all that you need to do to live right. And he also needs to eat right as well, because it takes two to tango. Folic acid is one great multivitamin to take. By all means, please be on your multivitamins, but please speak to your doctor. Make sure that they tell you exactly what to do and what not to do. Stay fit, do all that you need to do, but please, the marriage has to come on first before anything else. If he still does not agree, I'm sorry. I don't
might not
think
be the one.
Exactly.
Right. So, Gail.
Exactly.
You see, the word that I stuck on was insisting. Insisting that she gets pregnant. Relationships, like I always say, it's never one-sided. It's supposed to be the two of you. So it looks like it's just one person who is insisting, putting pressure. And you know, when it comes to the woman's makeup, so much pressure can even shut the womb, for lack of a better phrase, you know. Then you can't even get pregnant because you're so stressed out, your hormones are all over the place and all of that. But I'm not even going to push too much on that, because being with somebody is not only just about having babies. Do you understand? If you like somebody, you know, having babies and all those things are just, you know, like, yes, they're extensions of it. It's not everybody who's going to be a mother or a parent biologically. So you have to be open-minded. You don't set yourself up. Because look, for 3 years, she still hasn't gotten pregnant. So that should tell you something.
Or maybe she didn't want to get pregnant.
Well, but the point I'm making is that the guy is
insisting.
Yes, insisting on that. And it's possible that the lady is also trying to prevent that. Who knows? Because from the way she's talking, maybe it's not something she's ready for at that point. So she could be doing things to prevent that
it.
as well. And you see, one thing that is funny when it comes to men, when they think they forget that the woman has total control. She has a final say when there's a pregnancy coming in, because she's the orphan, yes. You can't follow her 24/7. So you don't know what she's doing.
So she can actually say, okay, this baby is coming on. She will say, oh no, not now.
So that's why you have that conversation, be on the same page. Like, this is what we both want. Then we work on it together. Because now you're making the lady even think of her mom being what? A single mom. You know, all those kind of things. Then you wonder what relationships are about now. Is it just for one specific thing? And so you're so focused on that. So now even when you're having sex, it will become a chore. It's not even fun anymore, because you're thinking, Charlie, a baby has to come. A baby has to come. And then psychologically, you're stressed out.
And
every time your period comes in, you're like, oh, you know, it's not fun. So I think they should all back off. And she herself, she shouldn't allow herself to be, you know, like
toyed around with,
played with like that. She has a I don't want it. I'm not ready. Simple.
right?
If he wants to go, let him go. Because
Rosie.
it's about you. You have to look out for yourself first, because you cannot give what you don't have.
Okay, Rosie.
Let me take my sip first. Okay, so first and foremost, I don't even know why the relationship lasted 3 years, because obviously their principles are not aligned, because she's coming from a point of view where she's bent on making sure that she has children when she gets married. And then the gentleman is also bent on having children out of wedlock.
Yeah.
So clearly they are, clearly misaligned. Now, I don't really have a problem with the man thinking like that, because he would find a woman that would also align with such principles, who probably wants to have a child before getting married.
At any time,
Yes, at any time, or maybe as and when they're in a relationship, if the child comes, fine. There are even women these days who are not even wanting to get married. They just want to have a child. So you get someone who would align with your principles, because being a single parent is very difficult on the woman, and most of the time we feel that once a woman is able to financially care for the child, everything is sorted. But you realize that the child also sometimes is psychologically deficient, because they go to school, they hear of stories, mommy, daddy, they come home, they wish that they could be in that setting of having both parents available. And so it's a bit daunting on the child as well. And most of the time you don't see the effect on the child. Once the child is financially sound, we assume that everything is okay, but they may have some psychological setbacks, and these are some of the effects that the child is is probably grown from, or is trying to grow from, or is trying to win herself from. So she grew up in a setting like this, and she's told herself that, look, listen, no matter what, I don't want this for my child. So clearly this is a principle that hits the core of your being. So why would you want to share a space, an intimate space, with someone who clearly doesn't align with your principles? So for me, I would have wanted her to probably, probably try the relationship like 6 months. And if the man is adamant and still insists that, look, listen, if you don't get pregnant, I wouldn't get married to you, she should have stopped this relationship 6 months ago. Not take it down to 3 years. But then again, it's better late than never. And even though she has a diagnosis that, look, listen, you need to hurry up and get married and settle down, medicine helps, but medicine is not God. You understand? It helps. It helps, brings answers, all these recommendations, they are good, because children are a gift. There are people who are medically sound, but for some reason they can't have a child. And then they move on to somebody else, and then all of a sudden the child appears. So children are purely a gift. So even though, yes, medically you've been told that, okay, hurry up, rush it, settle down and get married and have children, don't let that fear
hold you back,
pressure you into doing something that you don't want to do. So all I will say is that, look, listen, this relationship is not meant for you. If the man doesn't want to, compromise and meet you halfway, and you also cannot because it goes against your principles, don't force yourself to at all. Because listen, now that you even have a medical diagnosis, if you wanted to even go ahead and say, okay, you know what, let me just get pregnant because of this medical diagnosis, the man is going to think that you only got pregnant because of fear of not being able to have children. And he can even use it against you, not even marry you anyways. So my dear, I don't think this relationship is good for you. 3 years, yes, it's a long time, but it's not eternity.
Right.
You can still leave and find someone who would abide by your principles.
Right.
Yes.
But now, there's this issue of men wanting, to have kids before marriage. Why do you think that's happening?
I think
Because it's coming up a lot.
I think baby daddyism, baby daddyism or something is becoming a fashion. It's not. I think men gradually, I don't know, they just want to feel like, oh, I have a child. So you have men who are baby daddies. Sometimes they don't even care for the children, but they'll be posting their children all over the place. I don't know whether it's a mark of responsibility so other women can come chasing. I don't know what it is, but it's becoming a fashion where people are actually proud to say, oh, that's my baby mama, and all of that. So, I mean...
And in most times now, they go after, like, the very powerful, strong women to hold down and say, okay, that's my baby mama.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, I'm just saying that, look, right now, just being a baby daddy is becoming fashionable. And it's a mark of responsibility without actually being responsible. Then they go around posting this children as if they don't, but they probably just go and visit the child once a week, and then they be posting the pictures all over the place. Oh, that's my son, that's my son. And funny enough, baby daddies, they look so much like their children. I
think it's because we as women, we allow them to, if they come and they are like, okay, they want us to have children for us, and then we also allow them to actually, have their dreams manifested through us, is because we have allowed this as women. So bottom line, I mean, going back to all that we've all been saying, for you to be in a relationship for somebody for 3 years and the person hasn't budged, honey bunny, ain't no way he'll be budging tomorrow or the day after. So technically, like we're all saying, you're equally yoked. I feel like it's time. I think when we sit here and sometimes we give advice, we can understand that it's easier said than done.
Yeah.
But I know it's painful. I know it's tough. But have one last conversation with him. And then if it still doesn't work out, please, I think it's about time for you to actually move on in life.
Plus, I think marriage is more than babies. It's more than just babies. There's a lot to it than just babies. Yeah.
On that note, I think we should just take a quick break, and when we come back, we will get into our second letter. Welcome back, viewers. If you're just joining us, this is Sister right here on Channel One TV, and if you're listening, it's 97.3 City FM. So we are actually having fun today. It's not just about the show, but it's also gearing us up to the 24th of December 2024 for the Situation All White Party. And for that reason, we're here experiencing the grazing table that will also be available there. It's not going to be like this. It's going to be more than this. So this is just, just the beginning of what you would see there. All right, so ladies, we have a second letter. Should we get into it?
Yep.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so hello, sisters. I would like my identity to be hidden due to some personal persons. I have been masturbating since I was 10. I believe this is because I had the perception that men are very wicked and not to be trusted at 10. Okay. I vowed not to have anything to do with the opposite gender. Fast forward, I had personal experiences with older men enough to be my father. And of course, they tried to take advantage of me at a tender age. After SHS, I got into numerous relationships. Some treated me well, though anytime I think of being intimate with them, the fear of rejection after intimacy sets in. None of the relationships I have been into ends well, and my siblings say it's because I haven't been intimate with them. I have really tried everything within my power to stop masturbating, but all to no avail. I rather find myself enjoying it. I wish to tell my family about it, but I have trust issues with them. Sisters, I'm so scared and confused. Please help me, sisters. I want to be free from masturbation. So let's just say this is a case of, somebody that was abused as a child.
It's possible.
She didn't say she was abused.
No, they took advantage of her.
Yeah.
So obviously that's abuse. Older men took advantage of her as a 10-year-old. She started masturbating at 10.
No, she started masturbating at 10. Then later on,
she started
dating older men as old as her father. But because they wanted to take advantage of her, but in her submission, she's not been intimate with anyone.
It was before SHS. So she was quite young.
But she didn't sleep with them.
No. They tried to take advantage of her.
Yes, but she didn't sleep with them.
And it could be, we don't know.
No, she said she's never been intimate
before.
Even
her family saying because she's not
never been intimate.
No, she said, fast forward, I had personal experiences with older men enough to be my father, trying to take advantage of me at a tender age.
Yeah, trying.
So, try is also abuse, because you might not have slept with the person, but touching my breast, touching my bum, trying to pull my thingy down, it's also all part of it. Yeah. So what are your thoughts, Gail?
I'm just sad, because the age she mentioned, 10, and you're talking about already not trusting men in things at 10. Like, because at 10, what do you even know? I don't think you even had started having your periods or even developed breasts or anything. I don't think you know, man. Maybe it depends on your family setting, because I lived in a setting where at the age of 8, 9, you have to earn your living, sort of, because if you don't, my mom found herself in a situation where she'd never worked before because she was dating my dad. My dad was a doctor, he had the money and everything. Then when the relationship ended, she was left with nothing because she hadn't had a lot of education, because back then they didn't encourage women to get educated more. So she didn't have anything to yes, and then she had all those kids, because we were a lot and it was back to back, 2 years difference, 1.5 years difference. So imagine the frustration. And then she comes back home, we're in a different country, we come back home and there's nothing, no family, nothing to support her. She had her own issues with her sisters as well. So the kids were forced to now go and sell. So at as early as 8, 9, I have to sell on the streets before you get some little money. And we're not even doing all that for huge things, just food. Because things like even toothpaste and things were luxury items. We couldn't afford those things. That's how bad it is. So if at that age, and you're having that kind of experience, and then I remember the couple of people who said they're going to help us, and I was around that age, and then the man who was helping we tried to take advantage. So I agree with you when you were saying he didn't do anything, because I think at that age I don't if I can say smart enough not to let him, but like you mentioned, try to touch you. So there's always like, why, leave me alone. But just the psychological, to deal with that, like every time I'm going for some peanuts, I'm already apprehensive. He's going to do that.
Especially from a man.
Yeah, and I couldn't tell anybody.
Yes.
Because at that age, you are left alone too, Charlie. Mommy's just giving up. So imagine, like what she's going to. So at that age, you have so much to deal with. You can't even process them because you are too young. And nobody's there looking out for you. So you are forced to grow up so quickly. You are young, but you are old. So you are stuck in a very confused, and that's what happened to me. And I'm still dealing with it. I'm still dealing, because I didn't even get therapy or anything like that. So this lady is dealing with so much. She needs the help, she needs the help, because she says she doesn't trust
anybody to tell to.
I go through that as well. But sometimes you feel people don't care, so you just want to bottle up, or sometimes you're so angry. I was so angry at my parents and stuff. So you have so much, in your head, so you can't tell them what you're dealing with. So I used to keep diaries. That was where
Yeah.
I was writing all my thoughts. And then you go and ask a man for help, he wants to take advantage. So I can see that that's what she's dealing with. So she needs a lot of therapy. Now, at least when you go for therapy, you know the person you are going to, if he's a professional, is going to be professional. So that he's not going to benefit from what you're telling them, and they abide by some ethics and things. So it's going to be private, you know, and nobody's going to take sides or anything to make you feel bad about what you're going through. And then you can open up, because that's the first thing. If you can't open up, when you bottle up things in you so much, it even eats you up more. So if you're able to talk about it, you can start healing from that. I think she needs that. Forget about relationships. Sometimes we feel, you know, as women, maybe if you get somebody else to talk to, and then, you know, oh, that man likes me, you think, oh. But you realize that the liking that is like you, it comes with certain prices, which you're not ready to pay or you cannot afford. So the best place is go to a professional, you know, somebody who's going to do their job well, and then start from that side. Forget about relationships for now, and then just heal yourself so that when you feel better, then you can do better, you can give better.
Right.
That's what I think.
Olivia? It's sad.
Yeah, it is.
Sad.
Yeah, very heavy.
I mean, hearing Gail say that,
Yeah.
like, you know, it puts it even more into context.
Yeah.
So, you know, I don't even know what to say to you, but I feel like you, because of the rejection and the pain and the uncertainty, resorting to masturbation almost feels like self-love. Whereby you can do well by yourself, so you're okay, even though you're not quite okay. And it's gotten to a place whereby it's gotten a little out of hand for you, and you feel like it's not even right. I'm sure, like, how you feel afterwards, like, for you to send this in, it means that there's something like that doesn't sit well with you and you're troubled. I'm so sorry that you had to go through all the things that you went through. It wasn't right, it shouldn't have happened. But sometimes life, you know, is not always the way we want it to be. But like I always say, you know, Gail has suggested that you go for therapy. Like I always say, if you do all that you can and there's still, you know, there's nothing else you can do, just ask God to help you. You know, I've heard and I've seen so many testimonies of people who, even just by listening to one particular it could be a preacher, it could be a preacher, it could be radio, it could be, but one thing that I know helps is you, in your most quiet moment, whereby you feel dejected, whereby you feel alone, just going on your knees. I don't know whether you're Christian, I don't know whether you're Muslim, but just asking God to just help you, you know, asking God to help you, take away all the things that you're feeling, ask God to help heal you inside out. Pray about it. Honestly, I feel like if you have that honest conversation with God, He will come through for you. I know every time I say this, it almost sounds cliche, but I'm coming from a place whereby God has been faithful, so I can openly and boldly talk about it, and I know that He will not let you down, because I'm yet to find one person that God has let down. There's always three answers when it comes to God. There's always yes, there is no, which is not quite a letdown, which is not a letdown actually. It's because at that particular moment,
you're probably not ready.
Yes is not the answer for you,
it's not
and
good
then
for you.
wait. So these three things, God is definitely using it to do something good in you. And trust me, your story is meant to be an encouragement to other young women. And please, you know, your siblings or your family, the people who keep telling you that it's because you've not had sex with people, it's because, no, sex is not love. You don't get it twisted. You meddle up your situation by sleeping around with people, different soul ties. Like, you don't, if you are of the conviction that you don't want to sleep with people, please do not sleep with people. Just keep yourself. It's a masturbation thing that is a problem. And that's why I'm telling you, take it to the Lord in prayer and he will help you. You will be fine. But start. Find God for yourself. Find a Bible-believing church and ask God for the spirit of discernment, because nowadays there are all sorts of churches who pretend under the way that they are for God, but they are really not for God. They are there to get your money. They are there. No, sometimes make your situation even worse. Sometimes I believe in finding God for yourself. Take it one day at a time. Read the Bible. Spend time with God. Honestly, he will come through for you. But by all means, one step at a time. Forgive yourself. Start. It's going to be, you're going to fall. As many times, just rise up and forgive yourself and tell yourself gradually. And please, if you are in the position, get help while you pray and you're at it as well.
All right. Okay, Rosie.
Okay, so before Gail spoke, right, what I was going to say was that if you have a child who at the age of 10 is able to say that men are wicked and blah, 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 it means that she's exposed to it.
Yes.
Not directly, but maybe either her mother or her siblings or people like that. Because to be honest, my son is almost 8. And when he wakes up in the morning, I don't think his mind is anywhere near there. So when you have a child who is 10 years old and has already made a pronouncement that men are wicked and all of that, it's based on what they are exposed to. You understand? And Gail's point only drummed it home for me. Because at the age of 10, then it means that most likely she's witnessed her mother probably being ill-treated by some other man who, quote unquote, is bringing something home. Or she has sisters who have to fend for themselves, and she sees the way these men treat the women. They probably beat them up, you know, do stuff for them, talk to them anyhow, come and throw money at them or come and throw stuff at them anyhow. So she's witnessed all of these things, and she has made a conclusion, even at the age of 10, that, look, listen, men are wicked. Now, when this happens, you see, when it comes to the formative years, we have the formative years of a child from when they were born all up to around 8 years old. That is when they form majority of their personality and who they become. So the thing is that if that period, this is what they're exposed to, it means that for anything to change, one, you need a psychologist. Minimum, you need a psychologist, because you see, and at some point you maybe need a psychiatrist, because you need to be able to go back into your cognitive to correct these things that you have seen, to correct these things that have, you know, it's like the footprint that has been set in your mind needs to be changed. They need to re-engineer your brain, first and foremost as a child. And to even sort of like forgive them, because you see, sometimes when you see some of these things around you, you may end up low-key even resenting your mother, resenting your siblings, because you feel they've allowed themselves to be exposed to very inhumane treatment. Sometimes you don't understand the fact that maybe at that point in time, they also felt that's the only way they could fend for the family. So you need to get to a point where they need to re-engineer how you think. And then apart from that, you also need to forgive those around you and even forgive yourself sometimes. Because in some cases, when things are happening, you tend to blame yourself. It's because they have to look after me. That's why they did these things. It's because they know I have to eat, I have to go to school. So my sister was sleeping with 10 men so that they could afford my school fees. My mother had to, you know, succumb to this wicked person because there has to be food on the table. So at some point, you even start resenting yourself, thinking that you're a burden to everybody around you. So first and foremost, you need psychology. Normally, when I hear issues like this, I don't want to tackle the masturbation itself, because that masturbation is a resultant effect of certain mishaps in your life. You understand?
It could be a coping mechanism. For
yes, it's a coping mechanism. So when those mishaps are sorted,
the roots
are sorted, naturally everything else will gradually fall into place. But all I can tell her for now is that, look, masturbation in itself, for now, it seems like a space where, like Olivia put it, self-love. You think it's a space where you can get yourself to Mount Sinai without necessarily feeling degraded by another man or another person or taken advantage of. For the short-term, yes. But for the long-term, it goes against you. Because as much as you think you can be self-sufficient, the human being is not designed to be an island. You need people around you. and the time is going to come. You are still young, because you were saying 10 years ago and after secondary school. So I'm thinking that you're not even 20 years. I don't think she's even 20 years old. I mean, I stand to be corrected. But the thing is that at some point you're going to need somebody. And this masturbation thing would be a thorn in your flesh. It would be an impediment into having a healthy relationship. So see a psychologist so that they can start working on your cognitive, so that at some point you can begin to accept yourself, and I'm sure they'll be able to give you steps, you know, ways and means by which you can overcome these setbacks. You understand? But the good thing is that I'm proud for the fact that you have not allowed yourself to be taken advantage of by any man, and it's not something that you should think is a problem, because judging by the way you feel, adding promiscuity or indiscriminate intimacy to it is only going to compound your thing further. It means that then you have another hurdle to deal with when it comes to counseling or psychological treatment. So please, I beg you, I know your sisters may mean well because that's what they know, but please, please, it doesn't make it right. Don't add intimacy with just anybody to it, thinking that forcing yourself to be intimate with a man will cure the masturbation.
If a pregnancy comes
in, then it compounds everything. So my dear, you've been by yourself for now. Stick to yourself. Don't add intimacy to it. But by all means, if you can't get a psychologist, I keep saying call the front desk after, and then just speak to Chris or the team, and then we'll be happy to recommend a psychologist to you who would probably start taking you from the get-go to help you overcome this. But please don't judge yourself. It's an unfortunate situation. I think it's what you were exposed to, and unfortunately you don't have people around you, which is not your fault, and you don't have people around you who will bring you from point A to point B. So for me, I wouldn't want to look at the masturbation itself like what we need to deal with. I think we need to deal with the very root cause, and then as time goes on, she will learn that self-love is not about pleasuring yourself into orgasm, but self-love is about developing yourself, loving yourself, the mindset, how you look at yourself. When you stand among people, the value you place on yourself. So you start learning all these things, and I think you'll be a better person for it.
All right. Wow, that was extensive from everybody. I really loved this discussion because it's a very, very, very meticulous subject, and a very touchy subject too, because a lot of people have lived this sort of lives, and not a lot of people open up about it. So thank you for sending in this letter, and we are sorry that this actually happened to you. But I think this also goes to people around us, everybody. A lot of people are going through things that you do not understand. So please be kind.
Yes.
It's very important to be kind. And the way they act sometimes might confuse you. You might feel like this is not normal. I like the way she sent us the letter, because anyone else could have called her maybe a spoiled child. A spoiled child, a possessed person, the devil is using you, that's why you're masturbating, and all that. So I think people need to understand that these actually are serious psychological issues that need to be dealt with. But sisters, thank you so much.
Thank you.
I hope we're seeing you guys on the 24th of December. Do you have your white horse ready?
You want to see the kind of steps I'm going to
Last year, Felicia was with us right there, but today she's not yet. But yeah, I hope to see you, Gail.
Hopefully.
I hope to see you.
I'll be there. I have my white already.
Good. And I hope we're also going to experience the grazing table. Actually, it's a much bigger grazing table than this.
Please, I'm full. I can't even finish it.
You understand?
And you say it's going to be more?
It's going to be more, especially for the platinum table. They have like a whole like variety of
you even
things.
have strawberries.
Exactly. So we had strawberries, we had watermelon, seedless grapes. We even had some salad. There's cheese, dates, chips, wine, and we had like fruit infused water, all in here. Everything, kelewele, like anyhow you want it. There's even some like fried meat, in case.
There's even grilled.
Everything.
I'm tired. I'm tired of eating.
Right. Anyway, sisters, thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us on this episode. And yeah, see you at the Situation or White Party.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'll take a quick break and we'll be back with my final thoughts. Hello there, you are welcome back. And now this is Sister here on Channel One. And if you're listening, it's 97.3 FM. Unfortunately, we've come to the end of the episode, but let me share my final thoughts before I actually sign out. So we read 2 letters, and with the first letter, this is a letter of a 31-year-old woman in a dilemma of, being in a relationship with someone who actually wants her to get pregnant before he commits into marriage, and she doesn't want that because of the fact that her mother was a single mother. And what I'll tell you is that, first of all, thank you for sharing in your letter. And one thing I would say is, you have your values. Do not let anyone change it. And definitely you saw what it was for your mother to be a single mother, and you definitely do not want to give that to your children. You saw what she went through. You knew what you went through as a child of a single mother, especially when the father is not present. And there is no guarantee that this person, you having a baby will actually keep this person. Like people would say, pregnancies do not keep men. So you might actually have this pregnancy, or you might actually get pregnant, and that's when he will decide that, he wants something else. So I don't think you should get pregnant because someone wants you to get pregnant. If you want to get pregnant for yourself, because you want a child, because you feel like it's time for you to have someone else in your life, and also it's time for you to, or you are able to take care of that child. But never ever get pregnant because someone else wants you to, with just the mere promise of, I will be there for you. We've seen it a lot of times. There are so many women that have told their stories, and you would not be the first, and you would definitely not be the last. So do what you want to do for yourself, and not because some man wants you to get pregnant for him. Well, now let's get into the second one, about the issue of masturbation. Like I said earlier, for me, how I read your letter is that masturbation is actually a coping mechanism for you with everything that you have gone through, especially when it comes to the issue of abuse. Abuse is very complex, and people deal with it differently. Some people deal with it in ways that you don't expect them to deal with it. You understand? Some people are mute about it. Some people are overly happy. Some people become very sad. And some people actually just masturbate. And that's exactly what you are doing. So I don't think the masturbation is a problem. The problem is what you went through. You need to seek help for what you went through. It's a bit traumatic, I know. You are going through a lot of things in your head because everything started from when you were a kid. And as a kid, you're supposed to have certain life, but obviously you saw something different, which includes abuse. And I think it's not right for society to judge people, especially with things they cannot understand. Because someone might listen to this story and the person will say, hey, why is she masturbating at 10? She's a spoiled girl. She's a bad girl. No. It doesn't always happen like that. Something happened for the person to be how she is. And that is what we need to fix. We don't like hearing it. We always want to go spiritual. We always want to say, hey, is the witches in your family? Oh, is this? Oh, you have the devil. But no. Sometimes we need to deal with it psychologically. And if you have the chance, please go and see a therapist. But if you don't and you want to see a therapist, please reach out to us and we will be able to help you with one. And also, we want to say thank you for actually sharing your letter with us, because it's a very, very, very touchy one, like I said. Anyway, on a lighter note, it's all about the situational white party, and all road leads to the underbridge at East Legon. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to the underbridge at East Legon on 24th of December at 8 a.m. Well, everything starts at, 8 p.m. Everything starts at 8 p.m. So if you don't have any plans for the 24th or Christmas Eve, you need to be calling the number 0205 973 973 0205 973-973 to reserve your table or to reserve your spot. We have the platinum table, we have the gold, And we also have the diamond table. So do well to reserve your table or your spot. I say spot because you might say, oh, I'm only one person. We still have space for you, all right? So if you cannot do tables, just call that number 0205-973-973, and I'll see you there at the Situation All White Party. Ladies and gentlemen, a very big thank you to our sponsors too. We have Kivo Pepper, and also we have Cindy Rice, and also Silk Lifestyle for my outfit. Thank you so much for this. Thank you for making me look pretty. You have done well, and I feel good about it. And also a big thank you to the sisters. Why am I even forgetting you, the most important people, the audience, the listeners, and also everyone watching? Thank you so much for making this a wonderful time, all right? We would love to see you at the Situation All White Party, so see you on the 24th of December at the Underbridge. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for me to go now.